Good morning, family. So, it has been a very interesting 35 hours. We are 1 hour off the 36-hour mark now. And, the Cthulhu Kickstarter is doing very, very well. So, over £1 million now raised. And you can see it is still clocking up. So you can see in the dollars there, $1.2 million so far, and we're still not even past the 48-hour mark. That's very impressive. There is going to be some further updates, but for now, let's have a look through. We did go ahead and lock Karen, the investigator figure and dashboard, is Kickstarter exclusive at 800k, and our next stretch goal, 850, which as you've seen we have now completely smashed through, is the content of Lost episode for Hypnos. So it's not unusual for investigators to relive their daily nightmares and their dreams, but for several to experience the same dream several nights in a row is beyond suspicious. This goes beyond simply venturing into the dreamlands. We must find the doorways these cultists are using to assault the dream world itself. Dreamlands are a mystery and a trap on their own. In the Lost episode, investigators are locked into this crazed dream world. Fantastic. I think we could see this coming with the all the dream world based content, which is really exciting. While the cultists were performing the ritual to summon the Elder One using mysterious and powerful spheres, as a different realm, the dream world imposes its own physical limitations. The unholy ritual being performed is creating walls of fog that hide all passages and doorways, trapping investigators in their spaces, but not monsters who cross it freely. Investigators must step into the fog, hoping to find hidden passages, if any, and destroy the spheres to stop the ritual and face the Elder One. So it comes with the episode card, the monster cards, 8 mythos cards to shuffle in, the 15 discovery cards, tokens. The box will hold all of this, and we've already unlocked the Hypnos monster, so some exciting stuff there to come. And at 900 we're back to unlocking more investigators. George Rodriguez from the Bronx of New York. Honestly, the quickest way back to my kitchen is through them. So not all investigators welcome their new life, fully embrace the cause they're fighting, but they fight nonetheless. George is one such investigator. His kitchen was his sanctuary and he loved his job. He hated everyone and everything that made a mess of his workplace. The cultists and their things made a mess everywhere. Since then, he has started to put his expertise with blades to good use. His signature move, Charge, allows him to move and attack in a single action, eventually able to do so multiple times, adding more dice and more distance he covers. Marry that to brawling and toughness, and you have a deadly close combatant that will make the cultists rue the day their practices sent them close to George's kitchen. And there's his figure and painted. Loving that. Just great little chef to add to the foray. And then of course the big controversial, as some may think at least, reveal. Relay rises again with the unspeakable box. What an exciting launch it was yesterday. It was great to see so many people showing up for the project, and this so dear to our hearts. During the day yesterday there were many requests, discussions and theories regarding the content of the first Death May Die campaign, in particular regarding 2 very special and exclusive products, and so we thought we would just go ahead and sort this out early in the campaign and introduce our 2 first optional buys. So they have relaunched and re-included as an available option the unspeakable box. So that includes, for those that didn't have the opportunity to purchase it the first time round, a phenomenal amount of content, as you can see here. So obviously the main thing being the 2 Elder One figures, so more variety on the Elder Ones coming to the fray. Another 18 investigators with their appropriate boards, 11 monsters, and obviously now you can use all of that content with the new sideboard add-on as well, which is fantastic. Obviously we get 3 new episode boxes, all new content, including discovery cards, mythos cards, and appropriate tokens. The big thing here is the plastic dashboard trays. These make such a difference to the game. If you've not seen these in use, basically they're in 2 parts, and you slide your investigator board in between the 2 parts. When you claim these discoveries, you can slide them in underneath the board, but the biggest deal is you've got these indentations available then for tracking your insanity, for tracking your health and your stress, as well as your upgrades, and it just prevents if the board gets slightly knocked, table gets knocked, none of your pieces, your trackers are going to go everywhere. Just makes massive difference to the game. So if nothing else, it is absolutely worth it for that content there. So obviously they've got a link in here on this Kickstarter update. There you can go and have a look at the original content, but that is not all. For all those who weren't able to back the big guy, then he is now republished, re-available again, for pretty much the original price, I believe. Again, big controversy on this. A lot of people, for some reason, unbeknownst to me personally, weren't happy with this. I mean, it's Kickstarter exclusive content. This is a Kickstarter. You're only going to get it during a Kickstarter publication. You know, they are true to their word in this. They have updated the figure, so we are actually getting green plastic for the Cthulhu bigature, and grey for the stand, and of course you get the original publicised exclusive rising expansion content with all the appropriate tokens and the gameplay to play on this mammoth figure. So let's have a look. So we're bringing back the exclusive new green colour with updated rules to fit the unknown monsters in. So you've got a last chance. Investigators travel to the realm to attempt to destroy Cthulhu in transit between the 2 worlds. Look at that monstrosity. Fantastic. And to give you an idea of the size compared to the miniatures, for those that haven't seen this, this is just phenomenal. It really is. So the slightly updated version of the expansion features a Cthulhu in green colour, while the base remains grey as before. It also brings new rules to make the expansion playable with the enemies. We're adding to the Fear of the Unknown campaign. In this version, instead of using monster cards that used to come with the expansions, which included only enemies from the first campaign, we'll update the rules to use unknown monster cards instead, essentially turning this episode enemy from this and the previous campaign playable with the expansion. So for those who acquired Relay Rising, and there's a beautiful fully painted depiction. For those who acquired Relay Rising in the previous campaign and have no interest in acquiring this one as well, do not worry. We'll make the updated rules available online so you can play it seamlessly with your version. You won't be missing any components. Now, one would presume that CMON have, of course, tracked who purchased the original and therefore will make available via Kickstarter internal messaging the updates. Maybe they will publicise the content itself completely online via the website, but I doubt it. There is a lot of ask, as there was in the original, for the content to be made available without having to buy the bigature. That was not pursued and not made available. So yeah, I don't think they're going to make that available this time, but we'll see. So obviously, considering this is large, there'll be a separate shipping to cover for that. Last but not least, let's address the situation regarding the other products of the original campaign. As we know, many have asked to see these as well. Right now we have no plans offering the non-Kickstarter exclusive content, which is the original core box, Season 2 expansion, Black Coat of the Woods. However, we do understand that many missed the first Kickstarter and are desperately looking to getting copies of these as well. Worry not, soon these products should be available again at retail stores across the globe. Not only will this give you the opportunity to acquire this, but also to have your hands during the 1 year that it will take to produce the Fear of the Unknown, instead of having to wait for the Fear Unknown to deliver. So of course, if you want to buy the original content that is available at retail, then go ahead, get that now, and it is obviously readily available, and they will be looking at things, producing some additional copies of that content. So this is a fantastic opportunity, of course. If you didn't back the original or you missed some of this content, then that is now going to be made available to you, which for me personally I think is a fantastic thing, much sought after. So beyond this, we went ahead and unlocked Yves Blanchet from Bordeaux, France. The whole of these things inspires a fascinating phenomenon. Okay, so fighting a cult is traumatizing, stressful work. Even no exception to this rule, but she knows a bit more about dealing with the trauma than the rest of the group. As a therapist, Eve does the very important job of counselling investigators, making them feel more at ease with the cosmic horror surrounding them and reducing their stress. Eve takes her job of keeping the team functional very seriously, using stealth and brawling to get through enemies and reach fellow investigators in need. And there she is, and her figure mock-up and the painted iteration. And to reiterate, these figures do not come painted. So as we smash through the $1 million backing mark, we have unlocked Kickstarter exclusive of B Monster, including 4 figures of the Unknown card. I might consider it particularly innovative if it weren't so repellent. The quote from Peters there. There it is, the figure, the unholy results of science, crossing boundaries, slaves of cruel masters both in life and after death. And although the dead may die, truth be told, it is freakishly hard to kill them. If not killed instantly in a single attack, the imbe become invulnerable until the end of the turn, and what's more, fully heal whenever the Elder One advances at a summoning track. As if that wasn't trouble enough, the effects of this bizarre fusion between magic and science are so powerful that cultists and monsters surrounding Imbe also fully recover from their wounds, be it by its appearance, the putrid smell of death, or the potential catastrophic consequence of leaving Imbe undead. This is not an enemy the investigators want to be around. Try your best to put them out of their misery, and be careful not to join their ranks. So yes, quite a potent foe on the board. So before we reveal the next stretch goal, we have a week in review that is coming up today. That is 12 o'clock EST today. That'll be 5 PM UK time. Of course, you can go here to this update, click that link, and you can register to be notified on that becoming live. Personally, I always enjoy watching them live if I'm able to. You can share in the comments, the feeds, the chatter, but of course it'll always be available post live via YouTube as well. So recommend going and having a look at that if you are able. So at the 1,080,000 we unlocked Tom Gilman from Washington DC, the United States. Weapons win battles, but logistics win wars. Let's have a look, find out a bit more about Tom. So Tom tries his best to be a very rational person, even when dealing with supernatural and the insane. His line of work, you must be well equipped, well prepared, and this is also true in his line of work as a paranormal investigator. With his well equipped skill, he starts the game with 4 equipment cards. Wow, okay, which can later even recover from the discarded cost of some stress. He's also learned how to use firearms because of the marksman skill and also swiftness, so he's able to traverse the board more efficiently, making him an effective investigator by himself, or a great support for his teammates. There he is with his glasses and his sawed-off shotgun and his bag of goodies, which presumably hold his well-equipped content. So at 1,140,000 we unlocked Brown Jenkin, the monster figure, and card is a single monster figure. Its sharp tooth beaded face was evilly human. Rat with a human face, loving those gnarly nails. Look at that rat-like creature. How pretty. We've all heard tales of familiars, abnormally intelligent creatures, frequently just as evil and as powerful as their masters. Brown Jenkin is such a creature, made more dreadful due to his connections to eldritch beings. Don't let its small size fool you, though, for Brown Jenkin is nigh unkillable. When defeated, his figure is placed at its side rather than removed, and as Jenkin recovers from the fight, the next time it will be summoned, all investigators close to him take one wound, and Brown is immediately brought back, ready to pester and attack the investigators once again. So yes, this is going to be a particular annoyance on the board. Very good, looking forward to that. So 1.2 million then we unlocked Martin Horner, additional investigator from Tampa, Florida. Staying strong, stay in the fight. It's as simple as that. Let's have a look at Martin. As always, an investigator, even if his original line of work didn't meddle with the supernatural. He'd always hear stories about it, though. Police officers, detectives, and even fellow journalists such as him came across terrible, inexplicable things. During his encounter with an old one, he's come across a tome of ancient knowledge that was uncovered, giving him arcane mastery. But it's really his adamant personal trait that stands out, making him particularly resistant to the attacks and the effects of the creatures when he's on or close to the insanity milestones. Last but not least, toughness rounds out his kit, making him an excellent frontline investigator, able to hold off the creatures while his teammates roam. And there's his miniature and painted form. Okay, and this is the final unlock goal that we are seeing on here now. So 1.28 million. We unlocked the Kickstarter of Keziah Mason, monster for all backers. So Keziah Mason seems the Salem witch trials found at least a couple of actual witches from Agatha. Loving the detail on this picture here, very withered, and as always, just they've captured it so well in the sculpts, just surrounded by rats. Loving the detail on the base here as well. The skin wrinkling on there just does really reminds me of very sort of Ghibli-esque. The sort of the granny and the witch in that animation there. So driven by insanity on a go, Keziah Mason is a witch that has been performing and bidding of her eldritch master for centuries. Fueled by its interdimensional powers, Keziah turns each elder sign she obtains from her 3 bonus dice into successes and insanity. As the elder advises to track her powers increase, adding dark magic tokens to her card and driving investigators one step closer to madness for each one of them. And that's it, folks. That is what we now have unlocked so far. So this will be the next thing that we see. It has been, as I say, a tremendous 36 hours. Really excited to see what else is to come. Yeah, just absolutely love this game. As I mentioned, this is absolutely my all-time favourite board game ever, and so looking to getting all this wonderful new content to the game, having the additional components and new ways to play the existing content as well. So thank you very much for joining. Hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope it's been useful for you, and hopefully see you again in another 24 or so hours. Thanks for watching.